Is your strumming giving you a headache? Well, stay tuned. Hey there, this is James for James Shipway Guitar, and welcome to my video about strumming. Now, I've made this one because I've had a lot of people get in touch with me and say, I'm really having problems with my strumming. Why isn't it sounding good? I can't make it sound like music. What's going wrong? So this video will help you if you're having some of those problems. Now, any questions you have about any of this stuff, just leave them in the comments below because I do check all my comments and I will get back in touch with you and try to help you. But the first thing we need to do is to check that you're strumming the right way and not doing something that's going to hold you up. So let's have a look at 5 key points which you need to be doing to be successful at strumming. So the first thing we need to look at is how you're holding the pick. Now some people strum with their thumb, but this video is mainly focusing on strumming with the pick. So let's check out how you're doing that. I'll show you how I do it. I kind of curl my first finger around here. I hold the pick in place with my thumb and it just pokes out the side of my thumb there. Now however you hold the pick, it's got to feel right for you, and that's why I use this way, because this is just what feels right for me, you know. So some people prefer to hold their pick between these 2 fingers and their thumb like that. Some people prefer to hold it sort of between their thumb and their middle finger. So use whatever's right for you. But what is really important is that we only want to use the very tip of the pick when we strum. We don't want to be holding it back there. Just a very small bit of pick should be poking out the side of your thumb. This is much easier to control and will help you get much better strumming. Now use a sort of thickness of pick which feels again natural to you and comfortable to you. Often when you're starting out, something a bit thinner is better. Sort of, you don't want anything too heavy or too thick. So experiment with a few different picks and find what's comfortable for you. Another really important thing is don't grip the pick. We don't want any tension. Hold the pick softly enough so you don't drop it, but not so hard that you're going to get tension in your hand and arm. Second point is right hand position. Now, we don't want our arm out here, bending our wrist in to reach the strings, and we don't want it up here either, okay? Sort of imagine sort of pointing your arm along the length of the strings with a straight wrist and keep your hand just above the strings. Pretty much if your hand is very near to the strings, you're going to be doing it right. One of the most important points is to relax. Now any tension in your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, or in your thumb where you're gripping the pick will translate into nasty sounding, harsh sounding strumming, okay? Everything's got to be relaxed. Think of it, your arm is almost like jelly, okay? Floppy, relaxed, loose. The sort of more relaxed you can get it, the better. Now, if I do a bit of strumming, you can maybe see how my hand's very smooth and very relaxed. There's no kind of jerky, harsh movements there. The whole sort of pitch is very smooth and very relaxed, and there's nothing magical about that. It's simply that I've been playing a long time, done a lot of strumming, and it feels very natural to me. And this is an important point, is if you're just starting out, it kind of feels a bit weird. Persevere with it and follow these guidelines and you will get it. It just feels a bit awkward at first. Perseverance is the key here. You'll also notice when I'm doing my strumming that I haven't got a lot of excess movement. You know, I'm not bringing the pick all the way up here or all the way down there. It's just sort of hovering above the strings, and this is another important thing because any extra movement is going to hold you up and just make the job harder. So keep your pick and hand as close to the strings at all times as you can and very relaxed. Now one of the things people often tell me is they're having trouble with their upstrums. So let's look at a few tips for good upstrums. In some patterns you'll need to use an upstrum, and there's a couple of key things to think about here. Your upstrums again want to be very relaxed, and they're little chips on the top strings. If I just do a few of those, you can just see what I'm not doing is bringing my pick all the way across all the strings, okay? It's just like a little light flick up against the strings. Again, this is something that takes a little bit of getting used to, so don't worry if it doesn't happen straight away. Keep it relaxed with these little chips and your upstrums will get better, but can feel a bit strange to start with. If I just do a bit of strumming with some upstrums, you can see how I'm putting that together with my downstrums, okay? Just little small light chips on the top 2 or 3 strings is fine. So here we go. Finally, when you're practicing your strumming, it wants to be very comfortable, smooth and flowing. Think about it just wants to cruise along, okay? No sharp edges, no sudden jerky movements or anything. Keep it really smooth, really soft. And again, one of the main things that this comes from is relaxation, okay? So there's 5 points to think about for good strumming. Now, people often come to me for lessons because they're having problems with their chord and their strumming and this kind of thing. And I've got a 3-step action plan which can really help you to improve your strumming if you're having problems. So I'm not going to show you tons of strumming patterns in this lesson. Apply this 3-step action plan to whichever strumming pattern you're having problems with, and you'll find it will help you get the hang of it. Now, I'm going to demonstrate everything in this action plan on this G chord here. It's the E string at the 3rd fret. The A string at the 2nd fret, the open D and G string, and then the B string at the 3rd fret, and the little finger is going to play the top E at the 3rd fret. Okay, you can use an alternative G chord if you want to play along with me, if you want to use whichever one you know. Okay, so the first thing we do in this action plan is we simplify what our chord hand is doing, okay? A lot of the time people think the problem's with their strumming, but actually the problem is that they're trying to do so much with their chord hand that they can't focus on their strumming, okay? So keep your strumming, if the strumming's your main focus of what you're working on, keep your chord hand really simple. Practice your patterns on one chord to begin with. Then you can give all your attention to your strumming and get that right before you add all your other chords in. The second thing to do is to simplify complicated strumming patterns. Take them apart and work on each little bit of them and then join them together. Let's say I was trying to work on a pattern that went down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Now that's quite a simple pattern, but it's one that a lot of people have problems with when they're starting out, you know. So how could you simplify that? Well, you could start by just going down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. I'm leaving off the last down, up. So I've taken a bit off to make the pattern a little bit easier. When I can do that first exercise really comfortably, then I can add the next bit on. So just simplify what you're doing, make it playable, because you can then add the bits you've taken out back in to work up to the whole pattern. So that's sort of principle 2, simplify complex patterns. Now the third thing I want to show you is one of the most powerful practice and learning exercises that I've ever seen. I've used it in my own playing and I've used it to help hundreds of people in their guitar lessons. And it's a sort of play and rest type approach. Now let's say I had that pattern and I can play it sort of alright. I can play it maybe twice, 3 times, and then it starts to go wrong. This is what we often see when we're learning something new, is we can play it, but we can't play it for very long. So if that's a problem with you, try doing this. Play the pattern once. And then rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count yourself in again and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, so I'm making sure that I can play it one time right. There's nothing good or useful about practicing it once right and then practicing it wrong, okay? So one time correctly with a little gap in between. When that's happening and you're consistently getting that right, then try playing it twice with a little gap. Down, 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 up, down, up. Then stop and count yourself in again and play it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on, okay? And then gradually by doing that, try playing it 3 times with a gap, then 4 times with a gap, and after that you'll probably find that you'll be able to keep it going for much longer. Now I've improved people's strumming, you know, in like 5 minutes doing this. It really works, so sit down and have a go at this if you're having trouble with some strumming. Really works. Gradually take it apart, little rest in between, work up to playing it for longer, and you'll see some real progress there in your strumming. Okay, that's about it for today, but let's just recap on some of these important points. You want to use just the tip of the pick. Your hand wants to be very close to the strings. Everything wants to be super relaxed. Upstrums are just small little chips on the top few strings. You don't want to drag your pick across all the strings. And make your strumming slow, rhythmic and flowing. Just kind of find a speed that you can just cruise along with your strumming, and then it's easy after that to speed it up and make it quicker. We also had our 3-step action plan, which is to just simplify what your chord hand is doing while you work on your strumming, simplify any complex patterns that you're doing, and practice playing the pattern once with a little gap, twice with a little gap, 3 times with a little gap, and then gradually work up to connecting more and more of them up till you can keep it going throughout your entire song. Trial these things and you'll really see some improvement in your strumming. So if you found this video useful, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel and you'll get notified whenever I upload a new video or anything which might be helpful to you. And also, as I said at the start of this video, any questions or comments, leave them below. I do try and reply to all my comments. Anything you need a hand with, let me know and I will do my very best to help you out there. So that's all from me today. I hope to see you again very soon in another one of my videos. So thanks a lot for watching and I'll catch you later. Now when we're doing our strumming, what are we strumming? That's right, chord shapes. You need to know these 3 important tips in this video to make sure that when you learn a chord shape, you learn the 3 crucial things you have to know to get that chord shape sounding great every time. Click this thumbnail down here to watch that video. Catch you later.